Hey kids, Inverted Cow here. Welcome back to Empyrion multiplayer. Yeah, we're in version 1.6. Yeah. We are going to turn back on my thing. Version 6.0.1.4.1045 point F and a half and a 3 quarters and a soul. Bingo. All right. We are on the glorious planet of Nex. It has beautiful, delightful weather temperature variance of 80 to 90 degrees Celsius, which basically means hovering about boiling temperature, 18.3 rads, and 1.5 gravity. Weather conditions are foggy, clear, cloudy, medium rain, heavy rain, storm rain, fire rain, and radiated fog. So believe it or not, it rains and it's hot. It's a beautiful place. I love it. Unfortunately, with the high gravity, it makes having any flight a little bit more challenging. So, why are we here? Well, we're here because there's resources here. We're here because there's POIs here. In fact, yesterday I went down and on the farm. I went to the abandoned mine and I started raiding it. Ran out of explosives, no big deal. Jumped into a hover vessel that I have used previously and started to drive back. Made it about halfway, ran into a pack of drones, promptly got shot to ribbons, killed a half dozen times, had a lot of fun getting everything recovered, got myself all back together and said, I need a bigger hover vessel. So, why am I here today? Because that's what I'm going to do. We all caught up? Everybody's happy? Great. First off, before I jump into what I'm going to jump into, I tried learning about signal logic. It includes these delightful little switches. You turn the switch on, it opens doors or closes doors. I actually have this one configured so that it actually works with both the door and the ramp. To do this real quick here, I'll give you a quick little once over. We bring up the P menu. We look at said device. It has been assigned a name, a signal. I added it to a thing that said when the door switch was open, the ramp would follow, but would follow in backwards. So whatever the ramp door says to do, or the switch says to do, this does in reverse. Same goes for the bay door, which I'm not going to look up because it's a pain in the ass. Remember all these ring lights that I had up on the top that I've been trying to figure out how to make work in a marquee? There's 30, 40 of them. Yeah. Turns out nothing I can do works. I started with a lever. I made a whole whack of circuits and dealies, and they all seem to have disappeared. Signal logic is still glitchy, and you cannot set up a loop no matter what you try. So, that being said, the marquee lights will never work. Well, at least not in this version. So, down on planet, I made myself a bit of a landing pad. Put a healing dealy bopper in the middle so that I could fix the CV when it was landed. There's a healing dealy bopper underneath the CV. And I made myself just a wee bit of a shelter so that I had some cover from the rain and delightful weather conditions of this planet, which I talked to you about earlier. I used a basic kind of a domed shape thing just because. And I made a garage, and as you can see, the roof appears to be leaking, which makes it perfect. It's nothing fancy. It's essentially, that's what it is. It's a garage, barn, workshop. This is the largest size door that I can build, 14 by 7. If you step on the lava rock, your temperature goes up to 200 degrees. Don't walk on the rock. Hence the reason I need a hover vessel. I'll give you a quick cruise around the new digs. Nothing fancy. I made it look a little nice, but that's basically all it is. So there you go. Over here, if I can make it that far, what this big cannon is pointed at is a rado space. Theoretically, it will respawn. Rado space Mark II. Apparently, it will respawn. That big turret is targeting that just to be on the safe side, because if it does respawn, that turret has a whole chest full of ammo waiting to explain to it that it's not welcome here. So, keeping with the UFO form, the unidentified flying cow objects, I want to make myself a hover vessel that is similar. So I'm going to start. I've got most of the bits and pieces. I'm going to start first off, however, like you know with me and hover vessels, or any vessels for that matter, I'm going to bring up my drone. I'm going to make a cylinder. And I'm going to go up 3 squares. Well, 2 squares anyway. And if I can find it. Put down a platform to work on. There we go. Now if I really wanted to be fancy, I could make that look like it's an actual floor lift. Because, you know, things and stuff. Apply to whole block, please. Thank you. There we go. Now, the hover vessel that I want to build. I want to test out a couple of theories and plans and ideas, and I'm going to basically build the majority of it on and off camera like I normally do. I'll build bits, I will cut, I'll come back, I'll build a bit more, and I'll cut and come back. There is a rumor going around that actually placing thrusters in a downward position will give the hover vessel limited flight capabilities. I want to test that. I also want to see if I can actually place drills in a downward facing position, because I would actually like to be able to just drive up over a node and drill straight down and not have to get fancy or anything about that, especially if I have the ability to fly out. So we're going to work on that as well. And if you happen to have noticed inadvertently my armor there, yes, I have different armor on because while I was en route to the planet, the back half of my little starter vessel here that I had going took a couple of direct hits from some drones, and my armor that was stored in the back of it was lost in space. I will not begin to reiterate the colorful language that I used after that discovery. I made it to the planet realizing I had only one little piece of armor left. So, you won't line up. So the one thing I hate is you can't rotate these. Let's try something. If I placed it facing forward square on, it may not let me rotate it with the drone, but there. All right. Well, that's not where I wanted it, not where I was aiming for, but it's a two-dimensional game with a three-dimensional interface. No big deal, because I can still do this. I want to bring this out a little ways, like so. I'm not even going to measure, I'm just going to drag a bunch of blocks straight out. Again, actually, you need a way to back out of that, you know? And XY on this is that way. Perfect. Just come straight out. Please come straight out. No, that's straight down. That's straight out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Classic start for the hover vessel core. Straight out and straight down, giving it legs or peds to stand on, so you can actually build things and not have the core sitting on the ground. I'm actually going to push all the way down to the ground so it will lift up the core slightly. Should glitch that up any second. Probably as soon as I update it once more. If not, it's just melded with the base. Okay. Now, like I said, I'm going to keep the same pattern I did with the UFO. I'm going to have a center cockpit. It's not going to be very big. It's going to basically be essentially a cockpit dome that's going to sit slightly over the core. So we're going to switch, put those in there. Cockpit. Do I have my cockpit on me? I do not. I appear to be slightly disorganized, which isn't surprising. We're getting there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pause here. I'm going to get my cockpit. I'm going to start building this, laying out a few things, getting some stuff together, and I will be right back after I've got a little bit more crap in place, and we'll start doing some layout, and I've got the main body shape laid out. So don't go away, kids. We'll be right back. Okay, kids, we're back. I've got this lovely spider-legged egg sitting on the thing. I still need some glass to put in for the front windshield, and it needs texturing. But we've got the basics going here. I've got a vent in the floor so I can pressurize the cabin area without too much grief. It might be a little too small for me to get around in there, so I need to actually get up there and find out, because I can't even get the drone in. But I'm not overly worried about that, because I'm pretty sure I can walk around in a one block wide square. It's a little tight, but I can do it. Yeah, it's got the open cockpit, a couple of fridges, ammo locker, O2 station tucked in the sides here. I have ammo, 4 ammo crates, 4 storage crates, 2 harvest crates. I've got a mobile constructor in the front, and I've got 4 oxygen tanks tucked in on the sides. The whole point is that it's small, compact thing. It's also armored fairly well. Should take a couple of direct hits from most drone-based weapons, except in the direct front windscreen. Oh, meteor storm going down there. Very nice. Have to do next is we're going to actually install weapons. I'm going to give this a pair of side-mounted artillery cannons, which are basically going to go right where these struts are right now. Like, come on, quit moving. Right there. And right there. That should give me direct forward-facing fire. I'm going to say we take and carry the ring forward. Oh, let's do this. We'll put on the symmetry mode again so we can continue with the build. So I have a couple of minigun, plasma, and drill turrets to go on yet. Make sure I got these right here. Plasma is second, minigun is first. Okay. The plasma turrets I want to have forward facing. So I'm going to tuck these in literally right here. And then in front of them, these are going to be actually forward and back facing. A minigun, both forward and on the back side here. I'm actually going to put one in. Just going to bring this back a couple of squares. And I might actually do, I might actually make an extra minigun. Whoops. actually here. So I'll go make another minigun. We'll put another one over here. The reason for the two little miniguns in all four, or miniguns in all three directions here, or all three corners like that, is honestly the drones on this base are, or this planet, are not very nice. They don't come in singles, they come in packs. You don't fight a drone, you fight 3 to 5 drones. You might occasionally get the odd single, but sometimes you'll be fine, and the next thing you know, you'll be swarmed with drones. So that's the reason for that. Now, the other thing I want to put in here, and this is part of the reason that I have this facing downward, is I would like to put the laser drill. I want to put 2 laser drills on this thing, but I actually want to have them facing in a down position or mounted underneath the unit itself. I might just go with mounted under the unit itself, simply because what I want to be able to do is fly up to a location that I want to mine, and mine without having to fuss with it too strenuously. So these I haven't identified where I'm going to locate yet, but I might just do is mount them sideways like this or something. This will be the last weapon or last device that is mounted to this thing. But there we go, that's armament. Of course, there is one other thing I will be putting on this, and that is the harvester modules. Essentially one like that, and you curve back to there, 2 more like that, and I might put 1 more on the sides. I'm not sure yet. Might put 2 more on, but the reason for that is the harvester modules will allow us to mine these stones that are out here. As you can see, I've pretty much mined all of them around here. Let's see if I got any visible. But you have these monolith stones that stick up out of the ground. Those harvester modules allow you to grind those stones as well as grind the various small spiders and bugs and critters and things that are on the planet. So it's really handy to just simply fly along and literally grind everything to death. So I'm going to go fabricate another minigun turret, and I'm going to grab a few more bits and pieces, and then when I come back I will be putting the thrusters. I'll have figured out the thrusters and hover pads for this thing, and we'll see where we're at and start seeing about doing the painting and final stuff before we try to test drive it. So don't go away, kids. We'll be right back. Okay, we have made something here. This isn't anywhere close to what I had originally anticipated, designed, or thought of, but you know how it goes with building. Sometimes you start off with a general concept, you end up with something that looks like a total piece of ass, and you call it good because you're too damn frustrated fighting with all these silly little angles and bits and pieces that don't jive correctly to try to come up with something. And yeah, as you can tell, I am not a vehicle builder. I don't build any vehicle because if it's not a box, it doesn't serve a purpose. So I'm going to drop this off its moorings and we'll see what happens if it actually works. I still have a little bit of filling to do in here. But that's basically just a quick these. Come on. The build, by the way, from the person doesn't work anymore. Actually, it builds better if you use the drone, believe it or not. Block placing from first person tends to be very glitchy. Something to keep in mind if you are attempting to do any builds on this patch yourself. Things like to jump around, move around, flip around backwards, go where they're not supposed to go, and do all sorts of badness that they're not supposed to do. So that would be the front one. Okay. Gravity doesn't exactly work on this planet, I guess. Now, before we do anything, access the P menu and turn this on to faction, because if we don't, we will have problems. And then we will turn this on. Okay, come on. In we go. In. Okay, now explain to me this concept. Why would you make a door that a person can't fit through? Or is it because of that? Is that what it is? Yeah. Okay. And once again, let's try this again. P menu. Power on. View. Hover height 3. Okay. The person who was telling me that the downward thrusters allow you to actually thrust upward. Remember, I said I did not believe you. Well, here we are. Ample thrusters to move around. And this is me pushing upwards on the thrust. Yeah, they don't give you any additional altitude. So let's take this out for a bit of a spin. I have no ammunition on it right now, but that's okay. I still cannot get any additional vertical thrust than what I have right now. So there we have it. That myth is totally debunked. Hover vessels cannot use downward thrusters. at all. You can put them on, they look pretty, but they don't work. So I'm going to take some time. I'm going to repair this little flying unit here, take the downward thrusters out, replace those with something else, configure the weapons, including the cannons on the front here, especially the cannons on the front, so that they don't continue to target spiders and goodness knows what else. In fact, I want nothing targeting spiders with the exception of my grinders. Next episode, I will take this out and I will go finish raiding a couple POIs, see what I can do, have some fun, and take it from there, I guess. Now, of course, the internal view does not show very clearly at all whatsoever. Okay, there's something else to be aware of. So not only does it need decoration, but the internal view needs to be fixed. Come on, there we go. 4 times we got the button to work. So there we have it, kids. Thanks all for watching, and good night for now.